Hey, core families. I just kind of wanted to stop by and share what I believe to be true about the core experience. So, chances are, if you're watching this, you're coming out of getting ahead or getting ready to come out of getting ahead. And a lot of things have transpired over the past 20 some weeks. Um, I hope that your thinking was challenged. I hope that you pushed back and asked a lot of questions. And I hope most importantly that you shared and that you recognize that poverty is not your fault, that there's a lot of big issues at play here. I hope that you've been able to see forward about what is possible for you, maybe even just a little bit, because sometimes I know that can be hard and painful. And oftentimes, all we see is barriers. Remember when I spent time with you the first night, what I asked was, are you willing to just say, yes, this could be possible for me too? So, what's coming next? Getting ahead is kind of where I always feel like the seed kind of breaks through the ground and it starts to get that little sprout look. The long term transformation really happens in phase two. Phase two is about building community, it's about taking bite sized pieces of your goals and accomplishing them. It's about people supporting you. But really, the most important thing that's happening is it's about you continuing to build a way for people who are not in poverty to understand poverty locally, and more importantly, what families need and what they need to get out. So that's kind of like the big picture, and that's all done through relationships. There's middle class people that are being trained up on the side, waiting to meet you. I know that's scary and freaky and all of those things, but I promise that there's something important there for you. A lot of times people get through getting ahead and they think, oh, I've got what I need here. I'm off to the races, right? I would invite you to just pause and reflect for just a moment. What could happen if you stay? Um, it typically takes 2 to 5 years for a family to get out of generational poverty. Situational poverty, folks tend to climb out a little faster. This really is about long-term transformation and building the future that your kids are supposed to have, that you're supposed to have. And so the things that happen by being in a community, even though just like coming to getting ahead might have been a little scary, going into phase two can be a little frightening. But I promise once you get in there, you start to build new relationships, more connections, like stuff starts to happen in our brains. All of a sudden, the places that dreaming had gone quiet start to light up. Little brain trees start to grow. Later, we'll kind of get into trauma informed and resilience building. And it really is about relationships. It's about exploring some of our past experiences too, and kind of putting our hands on that stuff and realizing we're okay and it's okay. And there's purpose in some of the pain that I've experienced. I can use that purpose to help others. Some typical things that happen in phase two. If you want to talk about finances and budgeting, we got you. We can do a deep dive into depression and anxiety. If you need to figure out how to advance your career or get a career, like we have some stuff to focus on that. We have the Peaceful Families curriculum that we use, which will help with parenting, relationships, our past, and really healing some of that stuff so that it does no longer define our future. Doesn't any longer define our future. What I'm asking you is, will you make a commitment for 18 months to get matched with some core friends that are not there to judge you? They're not there to fix you. They're co-learners. You're going to teach them as much about this world and the way it works as you'll be able to gather from them. We really need you. I don't want you to leave. but I know it's a commitment. I get that part. It's a big commitment. But I promise if you stay and you talk to me 6 months in phase two, a year after you join phase two, 18 months, I promise you'll be like, wow, there's something physiological that goes on by being involved in phase two. Getting ahead, the sparks flew. Phase two, it's really about building sustainability, capacity, resources. So will you just take a little bit of time to reflect on, yeah, it's a big commitment, but what would be the risk for me? If I have to give up another night of the week, which I know your time is precious, your time is valuable, but if you have to think about giving up another night of the week, also consider what you could gain. Sometimes we give things up and we get so much more in return. So I invite you, we need you to stay. Our community needs you to help us to build a place where everyone can thrive. I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.